The shrill of the referee's whistle will tell you that proceedings are underway. It's been kicked off by Marr, who are attacking what you'd class as the bottom end here at Riverside in their purple strips, yellow trim. Jed in their traditional royal blue strips with white trim. They'll attack the town end. It's been caught by Jed and sent to touch, so the first line out of the afternoon is a good one for Marr, and it's going to give them the chance to truck this up. It looks like the first penalty of the afternoon's about to come. It is indeed. Rob McDowell, this up and coming young referee, has awarded the first penalty to Marr. As the line out comes in, it's well taken in the middle there, so you can bet your bottom dollar that this is going to be rumbled up by Marr. The hooker Riki is at the back of this, and it's inching forward towards the Jed line. Riki still in possession, and Riki's over the line for the first try of the afternoon with little more than a minute on the clock, and that's exactly what Marr wanted, of course, David, but it's exactly what Jed, in the kind of desperate state that they're in, did not want.
I know, we've heard enough from coaches, been pre-match game talks, and at half-time the first thing they say is let's keep it tight, let's not give away some easy points, and so it goes against all of that right from the beginning, puts Marr into that lead, that just fills the confidence, that they'll have come down here with already. So for Jed, they knew today was going to be an uphill task. You don't want to lose early points, so they've got to answer to that. They've given them they've seen what happens. You give them the easy territory, give them easy ball, and it's very difficult to stop that maul, isn't it? Don't give them easy chances.
As the kick comes in from Sturgeon, and it looks good from here, dissects the uprights from a reasonably tricky angle. So early in the piece, it's Jed 0, Marr 7. Harvey Keith to throw in. Always a pressure situation for the hooker, but that's perfectly done, and it's off the top from Fotheringham out to Monroe. Blake Ruff's loitering with intent in midfield, and that's a good carry by Ruff. He's manfully filled in at centre in recent weeks to help the cause. Now it's with Harry Meadows, and Harry Meadows has sat a Marr player on his backside, and there's a little snipe there by Mark Glenn. Real battle of the young Tyros at 9 today. 17-year-old Glenn against 18-year-old Baird. That'll be an interesting one, and that's another good carry, second of the afternoon for Blake Ruff. So Jed now looking to get back into this one, having conceded the early try. It remains Jed 0, Marr 7, 4 minutes gone. First carry now for Wardrop, and again decent effort by him, winning the contact, and you've seen a wee bit of space, Gary Monroe, and he's put that down into 22, and they've done pretty well there, Jed, to feel their way back into this after the early concession.
It's getting your hand on the ball, isn't it? Getting hands on the ball there. Good, as you say, good few carries by players. They're all making yards there, and a little snipe as well, by Mark Glenn getting round, all asking questions of Marr, making sure it's not easy for them, and that's what's got the territory. And if you've got your hand on the ball, you've got a bit of territory, that's where you can score some points.
So another Marr line out. Riki, the try scorer, goes to the tail this time, and it's another good line out by Marr. Inside pass there from inside centre Connor Bickerstaff to one of the on-rushing forwards, takes play on a penalty.
Brilliant.
Yeah, penalty's been conceded.
Blake Ruff, I think it was over the top of that.
Yeah, he's a really good start to the game, Blake Ruff.
He has 2 great carries. He's shown what he can do. You said he played centre. He ran like a centre, but his footwork is tremendous. Footwork tremendous. And there, he was right over the ball, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That was Marr. Okay, it was a line of their own line out in their own 22, but because of the pressure from Jed there, they've got the ball back. That's what they're going to have to do throughout this game.
And they've showed a bit of composure since conceding the early try in the first 90 seconds, and that's another decent line out. It's palmed back off the top by Ben Fotheringham. It's back in the hands of Monroe. Monroe weighing up his options, goes for the kick pass, and there looks to be a wee bit of space here if it can be gathered in, and it has been gathered in by Gregor Young, and he's got his twin inside him, Lewis. But Lewis is bundled. Lewis Young's bundled into touch over on that far side, but innovative play there by Monroe. So the dropout's been taken. It was caught by Sturgeon, and he's put it, or given it rather, to Blair Jardine. So impressive last week in the win at home down at Fullerton against Curry. Struan Riki, try scorer. Now it's Apthorpe, played in the back row last week at number 6, and there's a strong run here. Wee bit of a high tackle in there, possibly on Connor Bickerstaff, and it's been lost, but again there's a Jed infringement. Yeah, the referee's confirming the initial thoughts there. Colin Sturgeon, as you would expect, is going to take a crack at the posts, and all of a sudden, David, for all the good work Jed have done, it would appear they're going to go 10-0 adrift.
I know, and it goes back to, goes right back, Robin, to that chance they had the line out. They know they're going to have to take points today. They're going to, whatever chance they get in that Marr 22, and unfortunately a good line out there, it didn't turn into points. Marr have worked their way back, and they've been made to work for it. It's really good. The Jed coaches will be pleased, I think, that Marr haven't come back down the park after scoring after just 1 minute.
Jed probably going to keep it tight here and try and rumble round the corner. Marr defence holding up as it stands. Here they come again. This is classic Clark Skeldon territory, and Jed have scored here. Jed are in for their first try of the afternoon, and it looks like the number 8 from here, Ben Fotheringham. And yeah, I think all in all, Jed have deserved something from the opening 18 minutes. Monroe begins his run up, strikes it well, and that's drifting round beautifully. So 5 becomes 7. Struenrique again goes to the tail, and again it's over the tail. It did go backwards, but a Jed player has flopped on it. So here come Jed again inside the Marr half. Rough goes to Monroe, and there's a wee bit of space here opening up. Cranston's got Gregor Young. He's going to do well to stay in field here, but he's done exactly that. So here comes Rough again. Bit of footwork, not for the first time this afternoon. Jed now on the fringes of the Marr 22 try scorer Fotheringham. He takes it back into the heavy traffic. Here they come again. Wardrop dummies and goes and gets over the gain line. So Skeldon thought about shipping it out to Harry Meadows, and he's done exactly that now, but not before making 2 or 3 metres. There's a Marr player in over that, but comes back on the Jed side. Monroe, Jed sticking in here. Dom Buckley, the latest to hit it up. Maybe 8 or 9 metres from the Marr line now, Jed. The willing worker that is Dan. Wardrop takes it in. He's driven backwards. Didn't have much by way of support, Wardrop, but he's managed to maintain the ball. It's another pirouette in the carry there from Jed. And again Glan's at the base to Monroe. Monroe, another long looping pass out to Howe. Flung back inside to Lewis Young. Lewis Young's got the flanker Blake Roth for support. He's seen a wee bit of space. Roth, he's up towards the line, and he's dropped it at the last minute, but
that went back.
That
is a harsh
it's been
call.
Fumbled by Roth, but it did appear to the naked eye to go backwards.
It maybe took a bounce down, hit the ground forward, and went back. The referee was only a couple of yards away, but that was unlucky for Jed. That was a tremendous attack, and it went to the ground, but Bill Blakecroft was on it in a flash, as he has been the whole game.
Harvey Keith to throw in, takes the safe option at the front for the try scorer Fotheringham. 23 minutes gone here, still Jed 7, Marr 10. Jed bottom of the table, Marr table toppers as it stands, but Jed giving a good account of themselves so far, and it's back with Monroe. Gregor Young to Cranston to Lewis Young. Lewis Young's got Elder in support, comes back in field, but it's been knocked on by Gregor Young when the space had opened up. Now it's Baird for Marr. He sets it back, but he's the scrum half, so an auxiliary's going to have to come in. Now Connor Bickerstaff has sent it down the Jed Park, and Mark Glenn is back for the home team. Glenn has a young Lewis Young on the switch, and Lewis Young, it's opened up for him, and he's still off and running. He's got support here from Wardrop, and Wardrop's got a charge towards the line. And what a try this is going to be. You're absolutely right, David, as Wardrop touches it down. Lewis Young rolling back the years, and all of a sudden Jed have their noses in front.
And again it started with Mark Glenn, scrum half, who decided to run across field. Really, he put the burners on, so he went away across field, took the defenders. Nice wee scissors pass back to Young. Was it Gregor Young? Was it Lewis? Who took a great line straight up the middle of the park. All the Marr defenders are running across to that right hand side. He takes a straight line. He made a good 30 yards. What a turnaround in this game.
It certainly is. Jed very much in this contest. Jed 14, Marr 10. 25 minutes gone, and if the men from Troon thought they were going to come across here and have it all their own way, then that's proving not to be the case. The league leaders, but it's back in the hands of their fullback Greg Montgomery, and they're up and into the Jed half. Sturgeon to Connor Bickerstaff weighing up the situation almost 7 style, comes back in towards the Jed forwards, but a little bit of footwork sees him make another metre or two. Baird to Sturgeon with a flat pass to Fraser Grant on his 209th appearance for the West Coast men, no less. Baird again. Baird, Sturgeon, nice little tip on pass, and a wee bit of space opens up, but it's closed well by Lewis Elder on his opposite number, Jack Scott. Marr maintaining possession, not making too much by way of territory. And it's Ali Rogers, Jed player again over that, and the penalty's been awarded to Jed. That's wonderful work over the breakdown there by the big prop Harry Meadows. So much of what's good that's happening in this game at the moment is being played, it's been done by the Riverside men. And this time it's Baird at the base. Sturgeon's got a runner. That's Bickerstaff, back to Sturgeon on the wraparound. Now to the outside centre, Gregor Paxton. Paxton comes in field, sizes up his opposite number. Actually, it was Mark Glenn with the attempted tackle, did enough to slow up Paxton. But here comes David Andrew now. Andrew, it's flung out. There was numbers on that far side, Struan Riki it was, but Marr have managed to maintain possession. And the penalty's been conceded by Marr, however, and there's a yellow card in there as well. We wonder what that's for. Yep. Is he taking a man out off the ball? Kyle Valance just mentioned he's returned for the first time in a couple of years after his retirement. Well, he's going to take 10 minutes in the bin, and that gives Jed, David, just more ascendancy. Yeah, I mean, Marr, to be honest, have butchered two overlaps there. On the left-hand side, they had a chance there, and I think you've got to give credit to Jed. Their scramble defence was pretty good, but Gregor Paxton, the outside centre, should have done better. They had Jack Scott on his left. They should have put him in for a try. Didn't. They recycled, went to the other side, and as you say, they had players on the other side as well, and they still didn't make most of that. And the Jed line-out has gone awry, and the last man you want it to fall into the hands of from a Jed perspective is Blair Jardine of Marr. He's taken it, big carry up into 22, and the props in unison there. Ali Rogers onto Apthorpe's hauled down. Now it's back with Sturgeon to Paxton. Paxton's seen a wee bit of a gap, and he's through the gap. Paxton up towards the line, last ditch tackle by Mark Glenn, but looking a bit ominous for Jed here. Jed or Marr have maintained possession in the shadow of the Jed posts. 14-man Marr as it stands at the moment, and it's Ali Rogers powering towards the line, but he's held up. The Jed defence stand firm. Jed have taken the drop out from their own line. It was gathered in by Sturgeon, and he sets Scott Bickerstaff off in a run, but Scott Bickerstaff's tackled outside the Jed 22. Sturgeon again through the hands, cut back inside Marr as they were getting tight towards the touchline, and that's a counter ruck there. The referees deemed that to be illegal on the little scrum half. It was Ben Fotheringham with a clear out, wee bit of a mismatch there, but another penalty's been awarded. Not back 10. Yeah, not retreated the 10. So Marr, almost as soon as they've been reduced to 14 men for the 10 minutes, David, they've upped the ante. They have, but Jed have just made a few mistakes, and that just shows how good Marr are. You can't invite them into the game. You can't give them easy possession. They did that with the line out over there. They almost scored, and now they've handed them easy possession again that they haven't defended as well. Yeah, and they're right up towards the line because they feigned to kick, or everybody in the ground thought they were going to kick to the corner, but it was taken a quick penalty by Scott Bickerstaff, and he got the Jed defence napping, and it's his brother Connor Bickerstaff who's powered over under the posts. And yeah, Jed there, David, just a wee bit of sleep at the wheel. Yeah, it's just, Marr, the first 20 minutes or so, Jed really attacked them in defence. They went at them in defence. The intensity was good from Jed. They worked really hard. They got their hands on the ball in some rucks, and they held onto the ball when they had it. In that last few minutes, you've just seen what can happen and how good Marr are. I'm not entirely sure whether that was right by the ref in terms of the clear out at the back of the ruck, but he gave it against Jed, and they were caught napping, as you say, just on their standing on their heels. Marr 5 metres in from the Jed 10 metre line. Now it's back with Sturgeon. The line out was not the cleanest, but they've won it nonetheless. Sturgeon fed it onto Blair Jardine, and as he always does, he made a couple of metres, the number 8. Now it's back with Paxton to Scott Bickerstaff. Connor it was with the latest try after the good work by Scott, and here they come again. Marr, Ali Rogers, he's out the back door to Sturgeon. It's that same combination, Sturgeon to Blair Jardine, and Jardine was hit high, so say Rob McDowell. So they're playing with a free ball here, Marr. Now they're into Jed 22, and takes a couple of Jed players to bring down Jack Scott as he tried to free the hands and release the ball to the support. And there's a grubber being put through there by Bickerstaff, and Jed have managed to get back and flop on it over the line, but not enough advantage, so they're going to come back here for a Marr penalty. A kicker of the quality of Colin Sturgeon, who's got a conversion and a penalty to his name so far. And he's got a second penalty to go with what is actually his 2 conversions. Baird to Bickerstaff, and he's off and running. Scott back inside to Connor, and now to Baird, and there's open prairie in front of Baird, and he sold the dummy and gone. He's been hauled in by Lewis Young. High tackle, says the referee, and the referees awarded a penalty try, no less. He sort of scragged him by the neck of the shirt, and yellow card's been awarded to Lewis Young as well, and it's just gone from bad to worse from Jed, and Rob McDowell has brought the first half to a close, and all of a sudden it's gone from Jed 14, Marr 10 to Marr having a player in the bin to going to Jed 14, Marr 27. Gary Munro sends it down into the Marr 22, where it's taken in by Sturgeon and returned with interest, but it's not going to go to touch, and Mark Glenn and Gregor Young are under it. Gregor Young goes back to Munro, so Munro hoofs it down the park again, and that's taken in there in the 22 by Jack Scott, the Marr winger. He feeds it inside to Greg Montgomery, and the ball is eventually in touch. Of course, Jed are going to play the first 10 minutes of this half with Lewis Young in the bin. Our second throw in the second half for Harvey Keith, who's been pretty impressive so far, and he's found his man that time as well, and Jed are nudging it forward, and another penalty is coming. So Mark Glenn, this time Munro, sees a wee bit of space in behind, and Don Buckley, the inside centre, on his return to the Jed team after his sojourn to Duns last week. Buckley is the scorer on that occasion, and just as we said, David, there's something about this game. 14 men mean you will score points.
Yeah, and that's a real reward there, and it's a lesson for everybody. When the referee awards a penalty and you've got a free play, don't just kick the ball away, don't just do something silly. Gary Munro was very clever. He saw that he and a couple of the Jed backs were up in a good line, we chip ahead behind the Marr defence, and it turned out to be an easy try.
And Munro, after his neat assist, has converted that. So 3 minutes into the second half, it's Jed 21, Marr 27. So it's a Marr scrum about to be fed by Robbie Baird right on the 22, and it's picked up on the base at the base by Blair Jardine. And there's a borderline high tackle in there, but the referee's happy enough with that one on Greg Montgomery. It was one of the Jed centres, but Marr still in possession here. Connor Bickerstaff. He's tackled by Wardrop, one of the Jed try scorers in the first half. Baird again at the base, playing with 23 on his back, but he started the game, and that's a decent carry by David Andrew, the ex-Dumfries Saint. And there's opened up here for Blair Jardine up towards the line, and Jardine crashes over. No sooner have Jed clawed their way back into this than Marr are over the whitewash.
Marr have got a scrum suddenly in the Jed 22, and they kept the ball, but there were 2 or 3 missed passes that just allowed them to get in behind, and when that ball came wide they had an overlap there, so they didn't even have to move it out. Jed were scattered in the defence, and he was able to pick his way through quite easily, Blair Jardine. Yeah, it was a good finish by Jardine for his second try of the season as we await Sturgeon's conversion attempt. Struck it well, Sturgeon, and over it goes. It's going to be a Jed line out almost equidistant between the 22 and the Marr try line. So looking to claw their way back into this as they did just after half time. Of course, they've still got Lewis Young in the bin, Jed. He's maybe got another 2.5 minutes remaining on his sentence, and again it's been palmed back, and it wasn't the cleanest, but Mark Glenn's got it, and Mark Glenn heads off towards the line. Mark Glenn, what a show of strength for the youngster, and he is there indeed, and all of a sudden right back in it, and that, if nothing else,
to take from this game, Jed. David, that's a Jed bonus point as well.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's, and Jed have only got 2 points up to this game today. Probably many people out there wouldn't have thought this was the game where Jed might get their 3rd point, if not more. But certainly, we talked about them having players back in the side, players that making a difference. The young brothers, okay, one of them's off at the moment, but they've made a big difference in the first half. But looking at the players there who have been playing, that's Mark Glenn's had a cracking game today.
Their coach Kenny Diffenthal did say during the week that this is not an easy place to come. They weren't going to take Jed lightly, and been vindicated with that.
Well, I think they actually have taken Jed lightly in the first half, and I think they've got a wee wake-up call now.
Monroe out to Buckley. Buckley's got Young out, Lewis Young out to Gregor Young. He cuts back in field, still going. He wasn't held, Young, so he makes another 1.5 meters. Glenn is at the base, Fotheringham. He comes back into heavy traffic. Gregor Young holding his head. Monroe to Wardrop, one of the Jed try scorers in the first half. He's down on his haunches, Young, and the ball's been ripped by a Marr player, but illegally so, says young referee Rob McDowell. So it's going to be another Jed penalty just inside the Marr half. Centre field, and again that meaty right boot, you'd imagine, of Gary Monroe, David, will be sending it to the touchline.
Yeah, indeed. I think they were concerned there about there was a boot certainly went across the head of Gregor Young, right across the top of his head, but I think the touch judge felt it was just an accidental.
And Monroe,
that's a cracker.
That is a very decent kicking. So they go safe to the front to Fotheringham, and they've got a wee head of steam on here, Jed, but that's decent defence by Marr, and it's squirted out the back again to Glenn, so Glenn's going to have to come to Monroe. Monroe jinks back in field. Gregor Young going to play scrum half here. Young to Fotheringham. Fotheringham sets it up for the regular scrum half again. Glenn, Harry Meadows, the latest Jed forward, to try and knock the door down. Blake Ruff almost scored in the first half. Ruff, he has a crack, but he's hauled to the deck. Glenn's in there again. Glenn, Monroe spins it out to Cranston, loose pass, but it's been taken in there by Lewis Elder. The old bounce pass, Lewis Elder's picked it off the bootstraps, and he's in at the corner. And what a game this is, David.
Oh, it's a cracking game to watch. I tell you, the big disappointment probably is that there's so few people here at Jed watching this. There's a big stand we're looking across from the wee stand across the pitch, big stand, pretty empty. There's a good crowd in the hill, there's a bit of crowd at the other side of the stand, but God, they're missing a great game today.
Jed have managed to maintain possession. Ruff, the latest to Wardrop rather, with Ruff in support, the latest to have a crack. And that's staunch defence again by Marr, this time on the onrushing Fotheringham. And Monroe playing scrum half here, puts the box kick up, and that might give Elder a chance to compete, but it's taken in by Jardine, and Jardine's beat the first man, which was Elder, and he's bumped off another Jed player as well. That's strong play by the Marr number 8, as is his wont. Sturgeon now, and another strong carry there, this time by the returning Kyle Valance. So Marr now with their first territorial advantage, if you like, for a while. They're now up into the Jed 22, looking to get back into the game to an extent, because it's been a lot of it, the play's been in their own half so far this second half, and it's Apthorpe puts out to Sturgeon. They've got a man over on the far side, and it's fed back inside to, that looks like Callum Ingalls, but he's knocked it on with a line at his mercy, and Jed have done pretty well to repel that, David. Yeah,
it was a great tackle actually by Lewis Elder. On the far side, he had to make that tackle because actually it looked like they had a bit of an overlap and possibly a 2-on-1, but he drifted out, took the tackle, and the pass that came back inside knocked on because Jed were covering. Jed covering tackle was coming across quickly.
Yeah. Now it's the substitute that's come on, Murray Blair, and he taps it on. This time it is Valance. Baird again. Marr looking keen here, looking interested. Scott Bickerstaff, the latest Marr player to truck it up, and he's made a few metres. Scott Bickerstaff, they're maybe 8 or 9 metres from the Jed line here.
And they've got a huge overlap.
Yeah, they've got an overlap, and it's going to be exploited. Exploited it is by Connor Bickerstaff, the captain, and he is the latest Marr try scorer.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. There was so many phases. You've got to give credit to Marr. They held the ball really well and they went through the phases. They didn't panic. They lost the ball. One of the passes came back behind the back division. They went back. They picked it up. They went again, and really Jedburgh ran out in numbers in defence there. And for Marr, that's what they've got to be learning from. If they can hold on to the ball and keep giving the passes, then and go through the phases, they will find ways through. But they haven't been able to do that this half. It's taken them a long time to work that out.
Colin Sturgeon starts to run up, struck it well, but drifted. Oh no, it's drifted right between the uprights. The flags go up, so Jed have taken the scrum. There's maybe a minute or two remaining on the clock. Bambrick fires it out to Monroe. Jed just inside their own half here. Cranston missed pass out to substitute that's come on and made a wee bit of ground there. Brodie Irvin. Cranston plays scrum half to Blake Roth. Blake Roth's been willing this afternoon as he held onto that a fraction too long. A Marr player, no, he's instructed to leave it by the referee, and he does exactly that. So half break there, frees the hand. Stephen Anderson. Now Jed still in possession here. Jamie Ferguson's on. Ferguson feeds it back inside to Young. Now they're up to the 22. Bambrick's shoving bodies out the way to try and fish for the ball. Bambrick comes out to Harry Meadows, probably going to go do the full shift, the Burley prop. Bambrick to the substitute, Jamie Hind, who's made another few metres. He's played really well since he came in. Jamie Hind. Jed now centre field inside the Marr 22, looking for a losing bonus point from all of this. They've got a try bonus point in the bag, but they still trail by 10. It's Jed 31, Marr 41. Monroe shapes to go one way, comes back the other. Oh, it has been knocked on there.
Hasn't seen it.
Yeah, the referee has seen it now, and there's afters again here. Gregor Young's never going to shy away from that. Gregor Young and Apthorpe. Apthorpe's been in the ear of a couple of Jed players, and we know there's history here between these two. Lewis Young's in now. He's already been in the sin bin. Lewis Young, he'd be well advised to walk away from this. Jed don't need any suspensions, such as their predicament. Verbals being exchanged there, and Ali Rogers is in as well, and all handbags. David.
Yeah, I know. It's
and the referee,
shame that's it.
after the pushing and shoving session, the shrill of the whistle will tell you that he's brought the game to a close, but it's Marr that emerged victorious from this enthralling game at Riverside Park. It's finished Jed 31, Marr 41.
Good start to get an early try, but straight from the kick-off, we thought we got a good exit, but in typical Jed fashion, they put us under pressure, and get them getting on the board early, kind of not surprises. We knew they would come at us, but it's not what you want when you score early. You want to keep on that pressure and keep adding to the scoreboard. So it was it was tough.
We knew Marr would be well drilled, and we know they're a good team, but we was trying to stay in that fight as long as we could and try and make it uncomfortable for them. And we've done that. I'm proud of the boys today, dug in.
Yeah, I think there's been a few games this season where we've not really played our best. Away to Accies, we managed to come out of a win, and today we've done the same. Especially after I think Jed scored 2 tries when they were down to 14 men and really put us under pressure. I think it was a 3-point game at one point. So great to come away with 5 points from the Borders. It's always tough. I think Jed showed kind of more of their qualities today compared to what they might have had this season so far. So yeah, delighted with the 5. I think the 31 points conceded is a bit disappointing for us, so we need to work on that this week.
A couple of poor scores to concede just before half time. The one off the kick off right on half time killed us. That's probably the difference in the end, that and the yellow card. But even to come out in the second half and put a couple of tries in them at 14 men, it's take a lot of confidence for that. Disappointed only get 1 point for the game, even if we could have gotten over for 2 points at the end there. But a great shift for the boys, and it's definitely, it's scary to think what we could do if we could put that team out every week.
A few younger lads came in today and maybe had a wee bit of an up and down game, so we just need to get everyone on the same level and focus for the Musselburgh game next week. That's cliche game by game, but it's we're sitting up there, but we need to keep focused. We've got tough border games to come, we've got tough away games away to Currie and so we just need to keep going and hopefully pick up wins.
I think the effort's always been there, the last few weeks there's no shortness of effort. Whoever's pulling the jersey on, they're all trying, but you can't have that experience back. The difference that the Twins and Dom make in that backline, it's second to none. Big Ban Furthering had a great game at 8 today and all, so it's there. It's just try to piece it together every week now, and you know, I suppose it's a point gain. You know, Marr top of the league, but we need to build for this.